Take a gentle breath and allow yourself to slow down for a moment, because nothing is being asked of you here and nothing needs to be proven. You are not behind, you are not late, and you are not interrupting anything important. Sometimes we arrive at moments like this quietly, not because we plan to, but because our hearts were tired of carrying questions alone. There are days when strength feels like something you have been borrowing for too long, days when you keep going simply because stopping feels harder, and beneath all of that effort there is a soft, honest wondering about whether you are truly seen as you are. If that wondering has found its way into your heart, it does not mean you are weak. It means you are human. Love has always moved gently toward hearts like yours, not with pressure or demands, but with patience and understanding. Throughout the story of faith, love never waited for people to become whole before drawing near. It stepped into uncertainty, into weariness, into places where people doubted their worth the most. You were never overlooked in that story. Long before you learned how to hide your feelings or quiet your needs, you were already known, not in a distant or general way, but personally and tenderly, with a care that does not pull away when life becomes complicated. There are moments when the past tries to speak louder than the present, when memories surface and remind you of mistakes, missed chances, or seasons you wish had unfolded differently. It can feel as though those moments define you, as though they carry more weight than everything else. But love has never measured a life by its hardest chapter. Love sees the full journey, including the growth that came from pain and the strength that was formed quietly over time. Even when you felt unseen by others, even when silence made you question whether anyone noticed how hard you were trying, you were not forgotten. Love does not disappear in quiet seasons. It often works most deeply there. Sacrifice, as faith speaks of it, was never meant to burden you with guilt or make you feel small. It was meant to remove distance, to close the space that fear and shame tried to create. It was not about demanding perfection from you, but about offering closeness to you. Restoration has always been at the heart of it. You were not an afterthought in that offering, not one face among many. You were known with intention, valued with care, and held in mind even during moments when you doubted your own worth. There are days when the world feels loud with expectations, when comparison and unspoken standards make you feel as though you are constantly falling short. And in those moments, rest can seem like something you must earn. But peace was never meant to be achieved through exhaustion. Rest is not a reward for those who perform well. It is a gift for those who are weary. You do not need to prove your value here. You do not need to arrive confident or certain or whole. You are allowed to arrive tired. You are allowed to arrive unsure. Love does not step back from uncertainty. It stays with it. Grace does not wait for you to have everything figured out before offering comfort. It meets you gently and walks beside you. If your heart feels heavy today, let that be acknowledged without judgment. Let this moment be soft. Let it be enough. You are not held together by effort alone, and you were never meant to be. You are sustained by a love that does not panic when you slow down, that does not retreat when you struggle, and that does not abandon you when you need time. Doubt does not undo this love. Weakness does not exhaust it. Silence does not diminish it. Even when you feel disconnected, love remains present with you. Breathe again and allow some of the tension to loosen even slightly. The voices that place pressure on you, the ones that tell you that you must be more or do more to be worthy, are not the final truth of your life. Love does not add weight to already tired shoulders. It lifts what you were never meant to carry alone. You were not created to move through life bound by shame and call it humility. Freedom has always been part of the intention for you. Your dignity was never taken away. Your identity was never lost, no matter how confusing the journey has felt. You are not defined by the thoughts that trouble you at night or the memories that return when you least expect them. Shame may try to repeat old stories, but love continues to write new ones. There are moments when you wonder if you are too complicated to love, too broken to restore, or too far along the wrong path to begin again. But love does not hesitate in the presence of complexity. It does not stand back and analyze your wounds. It draws near with care. Nothing about you has taken love by surprise. Every tear you have hidden, every silent prayer you whispered when words felt too heavy, every moment you held yourself together because you felt you had no other choice has been seen. You are not a burden. You are not a problem to be solved. You are a life worthy of gentleness and care. And even when pain was not removed right away, you were not alone within it. Sometimes love calms storms by speaking, and sometimes it calms them by staying, by remaining close until the waves slowly lose their strength. And as those waves begin to settle, you may notice that the quiet feels different than before, not empty or lonely, but spacious, like a place where your heart can finally rest without having to explain itself. There is a kind of peace that does not arrive all at once, but slowly, like light entering a room at dawn, gentle enough not to startle you, steady enough to remain. This is the kind of peace love offers, not as an escape from reality, but as a companion within it. You may have learned to survive by staying alert, by anticipating disappointment, by guarding yourself from being hurt again, and those habits once helped you endure. But love does not require you to stay guarded forever. It understands why you built walls, and it does not shame you for them. Instead, it waits patiently, allowing trust to grow at a pace your heart can manage. You are not being rushed here. Healing does not have a deadline, and restoration does not demand performance. There are moments when you feel pressure to have everything figured out, to know exactly who you are and where you are going, but life is not a test you are failing. It is a journey you are learning how to walk, step by step, sometimes confidently, sometimes slowly, sometimes with questions that do not yet have answers. Love walks with you through all of it. When uncertainty appears, love does not pull away. It stays close. When fear whispers that you are alone in your struggle, love gently reminds you that you have never been abandoned. There have been times when you carried burdens silently, not because you wanted to, but because you did not know who would understand. You learned how to keep going even when your heart felt heavy, how to smile even when your spirit felt tired, and others may never fully see how much strength that required. But love sees what was hidden. It sees the quiet endurance, the tears you wiped away before anyone noticed, the courage it took just to keep showing up. None of that was wasted, and none of it went unseen. There is a tenderness in knowing that you do not have to explain yourself here, that you do not have to translate your pain into words before being met with compassion. Love understands the language of the heart even when the mind feels overwhelmed. You are allowed to lay down the weight of pretending, allowed to rest without feeling guilty, allowed to be honest about what hurts without fearing rejection. There is no punishment waiting for you in your honesty. There is only gentleness. You may have been taught, directly or indirectly, that love is conditional, that it must be earned through effort, obedience, or consistency, and when you fell short, you learned to withdraw. But love, as it truly is, does not function that way. It does not keep score or wait for you to prove your worth. It does not turn away when you stumble or hesitate. Love remains steady and patient, even when your steps feel uncertain. There are seasons when progress feels invisible, when it seems like you are standing still while everyone else moves forward, and those seasons can make you question your value. But growth does not always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like learning to breathe again, learning to be kind to yourself, learning to trust that rest is not failure. Sometimes it looks like surviving what once felt unbearable. Love honors those quiet victories. You may not always feel strong, but strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the willingness to continue, even gently, even slowly. When you feel tired of carrying expectations that were never yours to hold, love invites you to set them down. When you feel overwhelmed by voices that tell you who you should be, love reminds you that your worth is not determined by comparison. You were not created to live in constant self-judgment. You were created to live in connection, in freedom, in the assurance that you are enough as you are becoming. There is room for your questions here, room for your doubts, room for the parts of you that are still healing. You do not need to hide them or rush them away. Love does not fear your honesty. It welcomes it. Even when your faith feels small or fragile, even when certainty feels out of reach, love does not withdraw. It does not demand that you feel a certain way before it stays with you. It remains present, steady, compassionate. There have been moments when you wondered if you had drifted too far, if distance had grown between you and the love you once felt so clearly. But distance has never changed love's posture toward you. It has always leaned in, always waited, always remained open. Nothing you have faced has disqualified you from being cared for. Nothing you have felt has surprised love or diminished its patience. When your thoughts become heavy with self-criticism, love speaks more softly, not to argue with you, but to remind you of truth. When you feel ashamed of needing help, love gently reassures you that needing support is not a failure, but a sign of being human. You were never meant to carry everything alone. Connection has always been part of the design, and love offers itself as a steady presence when others fall short. There is a kind of safety in knowing that you do not have to hold yourself together perfectly here, that you are allowed to unravel a little, to be real about what hurts and what you hope for. Love does not withdraw when things become messy. It moves closer. It does not demand that you change before it stays. It stays while change slowly unfolds. Even when progress feels slow, even when setbacks appear, love remains patient. It understands that healing is not linear, and that growth often comes with pauses, detours, and moments of doubt. None of that makes you less worthy of care. You may have spent years believing that your value depended on how well you performed, how strong you appeared, or how little you needed from others. But love invites you into a different way of being, one where your worth is not tied to exhaustion or self-sacrifice that leaves you empty. True love does not ask you to disappear for the sake of others. It does not ask you to ignore your own needs. It invites balance, honesty, and rest. When you feel overwhelmed by responsibility, when the future feels uncertain, love does not pressure you to have everything resolved. It meets you in the questions themselves. It understands that faith is not always loud or steady, that sometimes it is simply the decision to keep showing up, even when answers feel far away. Nothing about your struggle disqualifies you from being held with compassion. There have been moments when you felt misunderstood, when your intentions were misread or your efforts overlooked, and those moments can leave a quiet ache. Love sees beyond appearances. It knows the heart behind your actions, the care behind your choices, the effort behind your endurance. You do not have to constantly explain yourself here. You are not on trial. You are not being measured against someone else's expectations. Love does not compare you to others. It meets you as you are. When you feel pressure to become someone else in order to be accepted, love gently reminds you that you are already enough. Becoming is a journey, not a requirement for belonging. You are allowed to grow at your own pace, to take time, to rest when you need to. Growth that is rushed often ignores the needs of the heart, but love values wholeness over speed. There are parts of you that are still healing, and that healing may not follow a straight line. Some days you may feel strong and grounded, and other days you may feel fragile and unsure. Love does not withdraw its care on the fragile days. It remains steady, understanding that healing unfolds gradually, often in layers, often with repetition. You are not moving backward because you need reassurance again. Reassurance is part of being human, and love does not grow tired of offering it. When you feel overwhelmed by the future, when uncertainty about what lies ahead creates anxiety, love does not demand that you see the whole path. It invites you to focus on the present step, the one right in front of you. You are not expected to carry tomorrow's weight today. Each moment has enough grace for itself. Trust grows not from having all the answers, but from learning that you will not be abandoned in the questions. Even now, as you take in these words, there is an invitation to release some of the pressure you have been placing on yourself. You do not have to be perfect to be loved. You do not have to be certain to be supported. You do not have to be strong to be held. There is a quiet relief in realizing that love does not fluctuate with your performance, that it does not recede when you falter. It remains consistent, patient, kind. When you feel disconnected from yourself, when you feel like you have lost touch with who you are beneath expectations and responsibilities, love gently invites you back. It reminds you that your worth was never rooted in productivity or approval. You are valued simply because you exist. There is a freedom in allowing that truth to settle, in letting go of the need to constantly justify your place in the world. Love does not ask you to compete for belonging. It offers belonging freely. You may have learned to associate love with sacrifice that hurts, with giving until you are empty, with neglecting your own needs. But love, as it is meant to be, does not ask you to disappear. It does not require self-erasure. It invites balance, care, and mutuality. It honors your needs as much as it honors your generosity. When you begin to rest without guilt, to set boundaries without fear, to care for yourself without apology, you are not becoming selfish. You are becoming whole. Love supports that wholeness. There are moments when you feel small in a vast world, when your struggles feel insignificant compared to everything else happening around you. But love does not rank pain. It does not dismiss your experience because others are hurting too. Your feelings matter. Your story matters. You matter. You do not have to minimize yourself to be grateful. Gratitude and honesty can exist together. You can appreciate what you have while still acknowledging what hurts. Love makes space for both. It meets you in the present moment, reminding you that you only need to take the next gentle step. You do not need to see the entire path to be supported on it. Trust grows one step at a time, and love is patient with the pace of your heart. Even now, as you sit with these words, there is nothing you need to fix or improve to be worthy of this care. You are not being evaluated. You are being held. There is a quiet strength in allowing yourself to receive love without earning it, in letting yourself be supported without explanation. That strength does not come from control. It comes from trust. And trust, like healing, grows slowly, gently over time. You are not behind in this process. You are exactly where you need to be to continue. Love has not given up on you, and it never will. It remains steady and kind, inviting you to rest, to breathe, and to remember that you are not walking this journey alone. And in that quiet assurance, you may begin to notice something slowly shifting inside you, not in a dramatic way, but in a gentle one, like tension easing from your shoulders without you even realizing it was there. Love often works this way, quietly restoring what has been strained for too long, reminding you that you do not have to live in a constant state of readiness, bracing yourself for what might go wrong next. There is a part of you that has learned to stay alert because disappointment once came unexpectedly, and that awareness once protected you. Love does not judge that part of you. It honors it. But it also invites you to consider that safety does not have to come from vigilance alone. There is another kind of safety that comes from being held, from knowing that even when things are uncertain, you are not facing them by yourself. You may have spent a long time believing that strength meant pushing through without rest, that resilience required silence, that asking for support was a sign of weakness. Yet love gently redefines strength, showing you that there is courage in softness, that there is wisdom in pausing, that there is power in allowing yourself to be cared for. You were never meant to carry the full weight of life on your own shoulders. Connection has always been part of your design, and love offers itself as a steady presence when human support feels incomplete or inconsistent. There are memories that surface when you least expect them, moments from the past that still carry emotion, and sometimes you wonder why they have not faded yet. Healing does not erase memory, but it changes the way memory speaks to you. Love does not force you to forget. It helps you remember without being overwhelmed. It allows you to hold the past with gentler hands, to see it not only as a source of pain, but also as evidence of how much you have endured and how far you have come. You are not failing because you still feel tender about certain things. Tenderness is not a flaw. It is a sign that your heart is alive. Love does not harden you against pain. It strengthens you so that pain does not define you. There are days when you wake up feeling hopeful and days when you wake up feeling heavy, and both are part of being human. Love does not withdraw on the heavier days. It does not prefer you only when you are positive or strong. It stays with you in the fluctuations, in the uncertainty, in the moments when faith feels quiet rather than confident. You are not required to feel inspired all the time to be worthy of care. Even when your thoughts feel scattered or your emotions feel difficult to name, love remains attentive. It listens without interrupting. It stays without demanding clarity. You may have been taught to believe that distance grows when you struggle, that you must resolve your doubts before you can draw near again. But love does not wait on the other side of certainty. When you feel overwhelmed by emotion, love does not rush you through it. It sits with you, steady and calm, until the intensity softens. There is no expiration date on compassion. You are not taking too long. You are not asking for too much. You are allowed to need time. You are allowed to need reassurance. You are allowed to need rest. Love does not resent your needs. It responds to them. And even when you cannot feel it clearly, even when your emotions fluctuate or your thoughts grow quiet, love remains present, faithful, and close, continuing to hold you as you move forward, one gentle moment at a time. And as you continue forward with this gentle awareness, there may be moments when you begin to notice how deeply you have learned to carry things quietly, how often you chose silence over expression because it felt safer, because you did not want to burden anyone else with what you were holding. Love understands that instinct. It knows how many times you swallowed words, how many times you told yourself that what you felt could wait, that you would deal with it later, that others had more important needs. But love does not ask you to disappear in order to be considerate. It invites you to take up space gently, honestly, without fear that doing so will cost you connection. You are allowed to be heard. You are allowed to have needs. You are allowed to ask without apologizing for existing. There is a tenderness in realizing that you do not have to earn permission to be cared for. Care was always meant to meet you where you are, not only when you have everything under control. There are layers to healing that unfold slowly, sometimes revealing emotions you did not realize were still present. When those emotions surface, love does not rush you past them or label them as problems. It sits with you patiently, allowing understanding to grow without pressure. You are not required to have immediate clarity about everything you feel. Confusion is not failure. It is often the beginning of deeper honesty. Love does not demand neat answers from a heart that is still learning how to rest. There have been times when you felt unseen even while surrounded by people, when connection felt distant despite proximity. Those moments can make you question your place, your importance, your worth. But love does not measure closeness by noise or attention. It recognizes the quiet bonds, the unseen threads that hold you even when no one is watching. You are not forgotten in the ordinary moments of your life. Your presence matters even when nothing extraordinary is happening. Love is not reserved for milestones or achievements. It lives in the everyday, in the small breaths between responsibilities, in the pauses you rarely allow yourself to take. When you feel pressure to constantly improve, to fix what feels broken inside you, love gently reminds you that you are not a project in need of constant correction. Growth is not about erasing who you are. It is about becoming more fully yourself. And becoming takes time. It requires patience, compassion, and space to make mistakes without fear of rejection. Love provides that space. It does not withdraw when you stumble or change direction. It remains steady, understanding that learning often comes through trial, through missteps, through moments of uncertainty. There is no shame in still figuring things out. You may carry questions about the future, about your purpose, about where you truly belong. Those questions can feel heavy when they linger without clear answers. But love does not insist on immediate resolution. It walks with you through the wondering, offering reassurance that you are not lost simply because you are still searching. Belonging is not something you must earn by having everything figured out. It is something you are invited into, even while you are still becoming. There are parts of you that learn to stay guarded because openness once led to pain. Love honors the reasons you learned to protect yourself. It does not tear down your defenses abruptly or force vulnerability before you are ready. It waits, allowing trust to grow naturally, respecting the pace your heart needs. You are not expected to open all at once. You are allowed to take small steps, to test safety gently, to learn that care does not always come with conditions. When disappointment arises, love does not say, "You should have known better." It says, "I am still here." When fear whispers that history will repeat itself, love remains present, reminding you that the past does not control what is possible now. You are not bound to relive the same pain forever. Change may come slowly, but it is real. Healing may be gradual, but it is happening. Even on days when you cannot see it clearly, love continues its quiet work. There are moments when you feel disconnected from joy, when happiness feels distant or undeserved. Love does not pressure you to feel grateful or positive when your heart is tired. It understands that joy cannot be forced. It arrives gently, often after rest, often after honesty, often after allowing yourself to feel what you have been avoiding. You are not broken because joy comes and goes. You are human. Love meets you in every season, not only in the bright ones. When you feel overwhelmed by responsibility, when it seems like everyone is depending on you, love invites you to remember that you are not required to carry everything alone. Support is not a weakness. Asking for help is not a failure. It is an acknowledgement of your humanity. You were created for connection, not isolation. Love offers itself as a constant presence, especially when other support feels unreliable. There is a quiet relief in knowing that you do not have to perform strength here, that you can rest without pretending, that you can be honest without fear of being dismissed. Love does not keep a record of how many times you have struggled. It keeps a steady hold on you through each one. Even when your confidence wavers, Even when your sense of direction feels unclear, love does not let go. It remains close, patient, and attentive, continuing to guide you gently forward, reminding you that you are not alone, that you never have been, and that you never will be as you continue this journey one small, steady step at a time. And as you continue to move through this gentle unfolding, there may be a growing awareness that much of what you have carried was never meant to be carried alone. You learn to take responsibility early, to be dependable, to stay strong because it felt necessary, and over time that strength became a habit rather than a choice. Love sees how heavy that habit can become. It does not criticize you for learning how to survive. It thanks you for enduring. But it also invites you to loosen your grip, to consider that you no longer need to brace yourself in the same way. There is another way of being that does not require constant readiness, another way of living that allows softness alongside responsibility. You are not failing by wanting rest. You are responding to a deeper need that has been waiting patiently for your attention. Love does not ask you to abandon what matters to you. It asks you to stop abandoning yourself in the process. There are parts of you that learn to stay quiet because speaking up once felt unsafe, because being honest led to misunderstanding or rejection. Love remembers those moments even when you try not to. It knows why caution became familiar, and yet, love also knows that silence can become lonely when it lasts too long. It does not push you to speak before you are ready, but it gently reminds you that your voice matters, that your thoughts and feelings are not inconveniences, that they deserve space. You are allowed to express yourself without fear of losing connection. Love does not withdraw when you are honest. It deepens. There may be times when you feel torn between who you have been and who you are becoming, when change feels both hopeful and unsettling. Growth often brings that tension. Love does not rush you through it. It understands that becoming requires letting go of familiar patterns, even when those patterns once protected you. You are not betraying yourself by growing. You are honoring your capacity to heal. Love remains steady during transitions, offering reassurance when the ground feels unsteady beneath you. There is no requirement to have a clear identity at every stage of life. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to question what no longer fits. You are allowed to change your mind. Love does not punish you for growth. It supports it. When you feel pressure to define yourself quickly, to label your journey neatly, love invites patience. Some truths reveal themselves slowly, through experience rather than explanation. You do not need to rush clarity. You are not behind because you are still learning. Learning is part of being alive. There are days when emotions rise unexpectedly, when sadness or frustration appears without an obvious cause. Those moments can make you wonder if you are regressing, if something is wrong. Love does not see those moments as setbacks. It sees them as signals, invitations to listen more closely to what your heart needs. Emotions are not obstacles to healing. They are messengers. Love helps you receive them without judgment, without trying to silence them prematurely. You are not weak for feeling deeply. Sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a form of awareness. Love values that awareness. It teaches you how to hold your feelings without being overwhelmed by them, how to acknowledge pain without letting it define you. There is a balance that emerges over time, a way of being present with what hurts while still trusting that it will not always feel this way. Love offers that balance gently, patiently. You may have experienced moments when hope felt distant, when optimism seemed unrealistic. Love does not demand that you feel hopeful all the time. It understands that hope often grows quietly, beneath the surface, even when you cannot feel it clearly. Sometimes hope looks like simply continuing, like choosing not to give up on yourself even when motivation is low. That choice matters. Love honors it. When your energy feels limited, when your capacity feels stretched, love does not ask for more than you can give. It meets you within your limits. You are not required to operate at full strength every day. Rest is not a sign of laziness. It is a necessary part of being human. Love respects your limits and encourages you to do the same. There is a freedom in learning that you do not have to constantly push past exhaustion to be worthy of care. Worthiness was never dependent on how much you could endure. You may notice that as you allow yourself to rest more honestly, certain truths become clearer. What once felt overwhelming may begin to feel manageable. What once felt urgent may lose some of its intensity. Love has a way of bringing perspective when you slow down enough to receive it. You are not losing momentum by resting. You are regaining clarity. There are relationships in your life that may have shaped how you understand love. Some that nurtured you and some that left you feeling unseen. Those experiences influence expectations, sometimes making it difficult to trust that care can be consistent. Love understands that history. It does not dismiss it, but it also gently shows you that not every connection will repeat the same patterns. Healing opens the possibility for new experiences, for healthier bonds, for love that does not require you to shrink or perform. You are allowed to hope for that kind of connection. You are allowed to believe that it exists. Love encourages that hope without forcing it. When disappointment returns, love remains with you, helping you process it without closing your heart completely. There is resilience growing within you, not the kind that hardens, but the kind that adapts, that remains open even after pain. That resilience is nurtured by love. It grows when you are treated with gentleness, including by yourself. Self-compassion is not indulgence. It is alignment with love's posture toward you. When you learn to speak to yourself with kindness, to offer yourself patience, you are not lowering your standards. You are raising the quality of care in your life. Love supports that shift. It does not require harshness to produce growth. It produces growth through consistency, patience, and trust. Even now, as you continue to move through this moment, love remains present, attentive, and steady, holding space for everything you are becoming and everything you are learning to release, walking with you as you continue forward, gently and faithfully, one breath at a time. And as that gentleness continues to settle within you, you may begin to recognize how unfamiliar it once felt to receive care without conditions. How strange it seemed to be valued without needing to prove anything first. Many people learn early that love must be earned, that attention arrives only after effort, that rest is permitted only after exhaustion. Love understands how deeply those lessons can shape the way you see yourself and the world around you. It does not criticize you for believing what you were taught. It patiently invites you to unlearn what no longer serves you. There is a quiet strength in allowing yourself to receive without immediately giving back, in trusting that care offered freely does not come with hidden expectations. You are not indebted for being loved. You are not required to compensate for kindness. Love is not a transaction. It is a presence. When you begin to let that truth take root, even gently, something inside you starts to soften. The constant calculating, the measuring of worth, the fear of falling short gradually lose their grip. Love does not rush this process. It knows that trust is built slowly, especially if it was broken before. You are not expected to believe everything at once. You are simply invited to remain open enough to notice what feels different when you are not bracing yourself. There are parts of you that learn to anticipate loss, to prepare for disappointment so it would hurt less when it arrived. That vigilance once protected you. Love honors the wisdom in that protection. But it also reminds you that staying guarded forever can become its own kind of pain. You deserve moments of ease. You deserve experiences that do not require constant self-defense. Love creates space for those moments, not by force, but by consistency. It stays when it would be easier to leave. It remains gentle even when you are unsure. Over time, that steadiness begins to speak louder than fear. You may notice that your body responds before your mind does, that tension releases in small ways, that breathing feels deeper, that rest comes a little more naturally. These are not coincidences. They are signs that safety is being relearned, that your nervous system is beginning to trust that it does not always need to be on alert. Love works through patience, through repetition, through showing up again and again without changing its posture. You are allowed to take this slowly. There is no benefit in rushing healing. There is no prize for finishing first. Love values depth over speed, wholeness over appearance. When doubts arise, when old beliefs resurface and question whether this gentleness can last, love does not become defensive. It does not argue or demand that you silence those thoughts. It simply remains, allowing time and experience to answer what words cannot. There have been seasons when you felt unseen even by yourself, when you became so focused on meeting expectations that you lost touch with your own needs and desires. Love gently invites you back to yourself, not by overwhelming you with change, but by offering small moments of reconnection. Pause before responding, a breath before deciding, a quiet acknowledgement of how you are really feeling. These moments matter. They are not insignificant. They are how awareness grows, how alignment begins to return. You are not selfish for paying attention to your inner world. You are responsible. Love supports that responsibility, knowing that care given inwardly often flows outward more freely and sustainably. There is a difference between self-care that is rooted in avoidance and self-care that is rooted in honesty. Love encourages the latter. It encourages you to face what is difficult with compassion, to tend to your wounds rather than ignoring them, to ask yourself what you truly need rather than what you think you should need. This kind of listening takes practice. You are allowed to be imperfect at it. You are allowed to misjudge your needs sometimes. Love does not withdraw when you make mistakes in caring for yourself. It remains patient, understanding that learning to be gentle with yourself is a skill developed over time. There may be relationships in your life that struggle to adjust as you change, as you set boundaries, as you honor your limits more clearly. That can be uncomfortable. Love does not promise that growth will always be easy, but it does promise that you will not be alone in it. You are not wrong for needing space. You are not ungrateful for saying no. You are learning how to live in a way that does not cost you your well-being. Love affirms that learning. It reassures you that boundaries are not barriers to connection. They are structures that make healthy connection possible. When guilt arises for choosing rest or honesty, love gently challenges that guilt, reminding you that your worth is not measured by how much you sacrifice yourself. True love does not ask you to disappear. It asks you to show up as you are, with limits, with needs, with humanity. There are moments when you may feel lonely even while being cared for, when old patterns of isolation resurface out of habit. Love understands that healing does not erase loneliness overnight. It sits with you in those moments, offering presence rather than quick fixes. Loneliness does not mean you are unloved. It means you are human and still learning how to receive connection. Love remains patient with that learning curve. It does not shame you for struggling to accept what you deserve. Over time, as you allow yourself to stay instead of retreating, those moments soften. Connection begins to feel less threatening, more familiar, more safe. You are not required to have perfect faith in this process. You are simply invited to remain open enough to continue. Love is not fragile. It does not break when questioned. It does not leave when tested. It remains steady through your uncertainty, through your hesitation, through your gradual trust. Even when you cannot feel it clearly, even when your emotions fluctuate, love continues its quiet work, holding you, guiding you, and reminding you through its consistency that you are safe to be here, safe to rest, and safe to keep becoming who you truly are. And as that sense of safety continues to grow, even quietly, you may begin to realize how much of your life has been shaped by trying to anticipate what others might need from you, how often you adjusted yourself to fit expectations rather than listening to what your own heart was asking for. Love understands how easy it is to lose yourself this way, not because you lack strength, but because you care deeply. Caring has always been one of your strengths, even when it cost you more than you realized. Love does not ask you to stop caring. It invites you to care without disappearing. It shows you that compassion does not have to come at the expense of your own well-being. You are allowed to matter in your own life. This realization can feel unfamiliar at first, even uncomfortable, because it asks you to take your own needs seriously. Love is patient with that discomfort. It knows that learning to include yourself in your circle of care takes time. There may be moments when you feel conflicted, when part of you wants to rest and another part feels guilty for slowing down. Love does not shame that conflict. It recognizes it as a sign of growth, as evidence that something new is taking shape within you. You are not betraying who you were by honoring who you are becoming. You are integrating those parts with kindness. There are memories of times when you felt you had to earn affection, when approval seemed conditional, when love felt unpredictable. Those memories can surface unexpectedly, influencing how you interpret present experiences. Love does not deny that history. It meets it with gentleness, helping you distinguish between what was and what is. Not every pause means rejection. Not every boundary means abandonment. Love remains present even when the old fears speak loudly. Over time, as you experience consistency rather than withdrawal, those fears begin to loosen their hold. You start to recognize that care can be steady, that connection does not always disappear when you express your truth. This recognition does not happen all at once. It unfolds gradually, through moments of choosing to stay rather than retreat, to speak rather than suppress, to trust rather than assume loss. Each small choice matters. Love honors each one. There may be times when you feel tired of growth itself, when the effort of becoming more aware feels heavy. Love understands that too. It does not demand constant self-improvement. It invites rest from the work of working on yourself. You are allowed to simply be, without analyzing every feeling or lesson. Healing is not a task to complete. It is a state of being supported while life continues. Love does not turn growth into pressure. It allows space for stillness. In stillness, you may notice subtle shifts, like a greater tolerance for uncertainty, a softer response to your own mistakes, a deeper sense of patience with others. These shifts are signs that love is settling into your way of being, influencing how you move through the world. You may not always notice them immediately, but they shape you nonetheless. When challenges arise, when life presents difficulties that feel familiar in their weight, love does not promise that you will never struggle again. Promises that you will not struggle alone. There is a difference between facing hardship in isolation and facing it with support. Love provides that support not by removing every obstacle, but by strengthening your sense of being held. You may find that even when situations remain complex, your inner experience feels less overwhelming. This is not because you have become indifferent, but because you are no longer carrying everything by yourself. Love shares the weight. There is a quiet resilience that grows from this shared carrying, a resilience rooted not in endurance alone, but in trust. Trust that you can pause when you need to. Trust that you can ask for help. Trust that you can be honest without losing connection. These trusts form slowly, often invisibly, but they change the way you relate to yourself and others. When you make mistakes, when you say the wrong thing or choose imperfectly, love does not withdraw its care. It does not redefine you by a single moment. It remains curious rather than condemning, offering space to reflect and learn without fear. You are allowed to be imperfect here. Imperfection does not threaten love. It is expected. You may have internalized a belief that you must be constantly improving to be worthy, that rest is indulgent, that contentment is complacent. Love gently challenges those beliefs, showing you that worthiness is not a moving target. You do not lose value by slowing down. You do not become less deserving by choosing peace. There is room in love for ambition and rest, for striving and acceptance, without either canceling the other. As you continue to sit with this understanding, you may feel a growing sense of permission to live more honestly, to make choices that align with your values rather than with fear. This alignment may lead to changes, some subtle, some more visible. Love does not demand that you change everything at once. It supports gradual shifts, knowing that lasting transformation often comes through consistency rather than intensity. You are not late to this process. You are not missing your chance. Life is not passing you by while you learn how to live it differently. Each moment of awareness is part of the journey, not a delay. Love is not impatient with you. It does not measure time the way you do. It remains steady through seasons of movement and seasons of pause, offering the same care regardless of pace. Even when you feel unsure about what comes next, love stays present in the now, reminding you that you do not need to have the future figured out to be supported in the present. There is enough grace for this moment. There is enough care for who you are today. And as you continue forward with all your questions and hopes, love remains beside you, not pushing, not pulling, simply walking with you, steady and faithful, as you continue to grow into a life that feels more honest, more balanced, and more gently your own. And as that steady companionship continues, you may start to sense a deeper calm taking shape beneath the surface of your thoughts, not because everything around you has suddenly become easier, but because you are no longer facing it with the same loneliness or pressure. Love has a way of reshaping the inner landscape first, gently adjusting how you meet each moment before anything external changes. You may notice that situations which once triggered immediate anxiety now invite a pause, a breath, a chance to respond rather than react. This is not because you have become indifferent, but because you are learning that you are supported even when things feel uncertain. Love creates room for reflection, for choice, for compassion toward yourself when emotions arise unexpectedly. There are days when old habits resurface, when self-doubt speaks in familiar tones, when you catch yourself slipping back into patterns of overthinking or self-criticism. Love does not treat these moments as failures. It recognizes them as reminders of how far you have come and how much you have carried. Instead of demanding perfection, love offers gentleness, encouraging you to notice without judgment and to return, again and again, to a kinder way of being with yourself. This returning is not weakness. It is practice. Over time, the space between struggle and self-compassion grows shorter. You begin to recover more quickly, to forgive yourself more easily, to trust that a difficult moment does not undo the progress you have made. Love supports this resilience quietly, consistently, without fanfare. You may also notice changes in how you relate to others, a subtle shift in boundaries, a greater clarity about what feels healthy and what does not. Love does not isolate you from connection. It helps you engage more honestly. You may find it easier to say no when something costs you too much, easier to say yes when something truly aligns with your values. These choices are not acts of selfishness. They are expressions of self-respect. Love affirms them. It reminds you that healthy connection does not require self-neglect. There is room for mutual care, for relationships that honor both giving and receiving. As you allow this balance to develop, you may feel moments of grief for times when you did not know how to protect yourself, when you gave more than you could afford, when you believed that your needs mattered less. Love holds that grief gently. It does not rush you past it or minimize its significance. Grief is part of healing, part of acknowledging what was lost and what is now being reclaimed. You are allowed to mourn what you did not receive while still appreciating what you are learning to accept now. These truths can coexist. Love makes space for complexity. There may be times when you feel vulnerable in new ways, when openness feels risky because it is unfamiliar. Love does not force vulnerability. It invites it at a pace you can sustain. You are allowed to take breaks from growth, to retreat briefly when things feel overwhelming, to gather yourself before stepping forward again. Love understands that courage is not constant bravery, but the willingness to continue even when fear appears. Each time you choose gentleness over self-criticism, each time you allow yourself rest instead of pushing through exhaustion, you are reinforcing a new pattern, one rooted in care rather than survival. Over time, these patterns become more natural. What once felt like an effort begins to feel like home. You may find yourself responding to challenges with greater steadiness, not because you have eliminated uncertainty, but because you trust that you will not face it alone. Love strengthens this trust through presence, through remaining when things are unresolved, through offering reassurance without conditions. When you feel discouraged by the pace of change, love reminds you that lasting transformation often unfolds quietly, beneath the surface, long before it becomes visible. You are not stagnant because growth is subtle. You are not failing because progress is gentle. Love is patient with the timeline of your becoming. It does not rush you toward an idealized version of yourself. It values authenticity over achievement. As you continue to move through life with this awareness, you may notice a growing sense of permission to experience joy without guilt, to laugh without questioning whether you deserve it, to rest without explaining yourself. These moments are not distractions from healing. They are expressions of it. Love delights in your joy as much as it supports you in your pain. It does not require suffering as proof of sincerity. You are allowed to experience lightness. You are allowed to enjoy moments of peace without waiting for something to go wrong. When fear tries to interrupt those moments, love gently reassures you that it is safe to be present, safe to enjoy what is good, safe to trust that not every calm is temporary. Even when uncertainty returns, even when challenges arise, love remains unchanged. It does not fluctuate with circumstances. It continues to offer the same care, the same patience, the same quiet strength. And as you move forward, carrying this with you, you may begin to realize that you are not the same person you were before, not because you have become someone else, but because you have come home to yourself more fully. Love has guided you there, step by step, moment by moment, remaining beside you through every question, every pause, every gentle turning toward a life that feels more grounded, more honest, and more deeply supported than you once believed possible. And there will be moments when the quiet feels heavier than anything you have carried before, moments when the absence of answers presses against your thoughts and you begin to wonder if you are still being heard at all. Silence has a way of stirring fears that words once kept at bay, especially when you have learned to look for reassurance, for direction, for some sign that you are still on the right path. Love understands how unsettling this kind of quiet can feel. It knows how quickly the mind fills the space with questions, how easily uncertainty can turn into self-doubt. But love does not stop listening when it stops speaking. Presence does not fade simply because it becomes silent. There are forms of care that do not rely on words, forms of closeness that do not announce themselves loudly. Some of the deepest support is expressed through remaining, through staying near when explanations would only skim the surface of what is actually unfolding within you. You may find yourself searching your memory, wondering if you have done something wrong, if you have failed in some way, if the silence is a sign that you are being corrected or left behind. Love gently invites you to release that fear. Silence is not punishment. Silence is not withdrawal. Silence is often a space where something quieter and more enduring is taking shape, where trust is being formed without spectacle. There are seasons when clarity would come too quickly, when answers would interrupt a process that needs time. In those seasons, love chooses presence over explanation. It chooses to sit with you rather than rush you forward. You are not being ignored in the quiet. You are being held in a way that does not depend on immediate understanding. It can feel uncomfortable to remain in this space, especially if you are someone who values progress, who wants to move forward with intention and certainty. Waiting can feel passive, like time slipping through your hands. But waiting, as love understands it, is not empty. It is active in ways you cannot always see. Beneath the surface of your life, roots are growing, strengthening what will later support you. Growth does not always announce itself with change you can measure. Sometimes it happens internally, through subtle shifts in perspective, through a deepening capacity to remain present even when clarity is absent. You are not failing because you are waiting. Waiting is not wasted time. It is a form of trust that does not require constant reassurance. Love remains attentive during this waiting, aware of every question that rises and every doubt that follows. It does not ask you to silence your uncertainty. It allows you to bring it openly, knowing that honesty is part of connection. There may be moments when impatience surfaces, when you feel tired of not knowing, tired of holding space for ambiguity. Love does not judge that impatience. It recognizes it as a sign of longing, of your desire to feel secure and understood. That desire is not wrong. It is human. Love meets it with patience rather than correction, reminding you that not all answers arrive on your timeline, and not all truths need to be fully formed before they can support you. There is a temptation in silence to assume distance, to interpret the lack of response as a lack of care. But love is not measured by volume. It is not diminished by quiet. It remains steady even when you cannot feel it clearly. Feelings rise and fall, influenced by fatigue, stress, and memory. But presence is not governed by feeling alone. You are not required to sense love constantly for it to be real. There are times when your awareness of it fades, not because it has left, but because your attention is being asked to rest in something deeper than sensation. Trust is often built here, in this quiet place where certainty is replaced by steadiness. Trust grows not from having all the answers, but from learning that you are not abandoned when answers do not come. This kind of trust is not dramatic. It does not feel like confidence. It feels like staying. It feels like continuing to show up even when you are unsure. It feels like choosing not to close your heart even when waiting feels vulnerable. Love honors that choice deeply. It sees the courage it takes to remain open in silence. There may be times when the quiet stretches longer than you expected, when you wonder how long you are meant to stay here, how long you are meant to hold on without clarity. Love does not give you a timeline because timelines can turn trust into pressure. Instead, it offers companionship. You are not alone in the waiting. You are not expected to endure it in isolation. Love stays with you, attentive to your limits, gentle with your fatigue. When the waiting feels heavy, love does not ask you to carry it gracefully. It allows you to feel the weight honestly. It allows frustration, confusion, even disappointment to exist without threatening connection. You do not have to pretend that the quiet is easy. You do not have to turn it into something meaningful before you are ready. Meaning will emerge in its own time. For now, presence is enough. There are lessons that can only be learned slowly, truths that can only be trusted after being lived. Silence creates the space for those truths to settle. It strips away distractions and invites you to notice what remains when external validation fades. What remains is often more stable than you expected. You may discover a resilience that does not rely on certainty, a steadiness that does not depend on outcomes. This steadiness does not mean you stop caring or hoping. It means you learn how to hold hope without anxiety, how to care without control. Love nurtures this steadiness patiently, knowing that it will serve you long after the silence passes. And the silence will pass, though perhaps not in the way you imagine. Answers may come quietly, through insight rather than instruction, through experience rather than explanation. Or they may come gradually, through a series of small confirmations that only make sense in hindsight. Love is not withholding clarity to test you. It is allowing clarity to form in a way that will not collapse under pressure. You are being prepared, even if it does not feel like preparation. You are being supported, even if support feels invisible. There is nothing wasted in this season. Every moment of waiting is shaping your capacity to trust, to remain present, to hold complexity without losing yourself. These capacities will matter. They will sustain you in ways that quick answers never could. When doubt returns, when the quiet feels overwhelming again, love does not retreat. It remains just as close, just as attentive, just as committed to you as ever. You are not forgotten here. You are not misplaced. You are exactly where you need to be to grow into a deeper sense of connection, one that does not depend on constant reassurance. The quiet is not empty. It is full of unseen care, full of steady presence, full of a love that does not require noise to prove itself. And as you continue forward, carrying this season with you, love continues to walk beside you, unhurried and faithful, holding you gently through the waiting, through the questions, through the silence itself, until what needs to emerge does so naturally, in its own time, without force, without fear, grounded in a trust that has been quietly forming all along. And as that quiet trust begins to settle more deeply, you may start to notice how love shows itself in ordinary moments, not as something separate from your daily life, but woven gently into it. It may appear in the way your breath slows when you remember you do not have to solve everything at once, or in the way your body relaxes slightly when you allow yourself to pause without guilt. These moments may seem small, but they are meaningful. They are signs that love is no longer something you are searching for outside yourself, but something you are learning to recognize within your experience. There is a softness that begins to replace urgency, a sense that you are allowed to move at a human pace rather than constantly striving to keep up with imagined expectations. Love does not rush you through your days. It walks with you through them. You may find yourself becoming more attentive to the present moment, noticing details you once overlooked, like the comfort of routine, the steadiness of familiar places, or the quiet reassurance found in simple acts of care. These are not distractions from what matters. They are expressions of it. Love often speaks through consistency rather than intensity, through the steady presence of what remains rather than the excitement of what changes. As you continue to live with this awareness, you may feel a growing sense of alignment between what you need and how you respond to life. Decisions may become clearer, not because uncertainty disappears, but because you trust yourself more deeply. Love supports this trust, reminding you that wisdom often grows from listening rather than forcing outcomes. You are not required to have every step planned to move forward meaningfully. You are allowed to take one step at a time, trusting that support will meet you there. There may still be moments when doubt returns, when old fears resurface and question whether this sense of peace will last. Love does not deny those fears. It meets them with steadiness. It reminds you that peace is not fragile, that it does not vanish the moment you feel uncertain. Peace can coexist with questions, can remain present even when emotions fluctuate. You are learning that stability does not require emotional perfection. It requires compassion toward yourself when emotions shift. Love teaches this compassion patiently, encouraging you to respond to yourself with the same gentleness you would offer someone you care about deeply. As this gentleness becomes more familiar, you may notice changes in how you relate to others. You may feel less pressure to prove yourself, less need to seek validation, and more freedom to show up honestly. Love does not isolate you from connection. It helps you engage more authentically. You may find yourself setting clearer boundaries, not out of fear, but out of respect for your own limits. These boundaries are not walls. They are pathways to healthier connection. Love affirms that protecting your well-being allows you to give more freely and sustainably. There is a quiet confidence that emerges from knowing you do not have to abandon yourself to be loved. This confidence is not loud or assertive. It is calm and grounded. It allows you to navigate relationships with greater clarity, choosing presence over performance. When misunderstandings occur, love supports you in responding rather than reacting, in seeking understanding rather than retreating into silence or defensiveness. You are learning that conflict does not have to threaten connection, that honesty can deepen trust rather than destroy it. This learning takes time, and love is patient with the process. You are not expected to master it quickly. Growth continues to unfold gradually, often through repetition, through choosing gentleness again and again. There may be days when you feel more settled and days when you feel unsettled again. Love does not judge the fluctuations. It recognizes them as part of being human. You are not regressing because you need reassurance more than once. Reassurance is part of building trust. Over time, as you continue to practice receiving care without conditions, you may notice that your inner dialogue changes. The voice that once criticized becomes quieter, replaced by a more compassionate tone. This shift does not erase self-doubt completely, but it gives you another voice to listen to, one that reminds you of your worth even when you struggle. Love nurtures this voice patiently, helping it grow stronger through consistency rather than force. As you move through your life with this growing sense of support, you may find yourself approaching challenges differently. Instead of asking, "How do I get through this as quickly as possible?" you may begin to ask, "How can I move through this with care?" This change in perspective is subtle but powerful. It allows you to remain connected to yourself even in difficult situations. Love does not promise that challenges will disappear, but it changes how you experience them. You are no longer facing them alone, and that makes a difference. There is a sense of companionship that remains with you, even when circumstances are uncertain. Love continues to offer reassurance through presence rather than guarantees. It reminds you that you are capable of navigating complexity, not because you have all the answers, but because you are supported as you learn. As this understanding settles, you may feel a growing sense of peace about where you are right now, even if the future remains unclear. This peace is not resignation. It is acceptance of the present moment as it is. Love supports this acceptance, knowing that it creates space for clarity to emerge naturally. You are not required to force meaning from every experience. Meaning often reveals itself over time, through reflection rather than pressure. Love allows that process to unfold without urgency. And as you continue forward, carrying this gentle awareness with you, you may begin to realize that you are living from a place of greater alignment, not because everything is resolved, but because you are grounded in care that does not waver. Love remains with you in the ordinary moments and the challenging ones alike, continuing to guide you quietly, steadily. As you move toward a life that feels more integrated, more compassionate, and more deeply supported than before. And as you come to the end of this moment, there is no expectation placed upon you, no lesson you must fully understand, no feeling you are required to hold on to. Love does not ask for conclusions or promises. It simply remains with you as you are, honoring everything you have felt, everything you have questioned, and everything you are still carrying. You do not need to leave this space different than you arrived for it to have mattered. Being present was enough. Listening was enough. Allowing yourself to rest here, even briefly, was enough. Love recognizes the quiet courage it takes to pause, to soften, to stay open when closing off might feel safer. That courage does not go unnoticed. It is not measured by outward change, but by the gentleness you allow within yourself. As you return to your day, to your responsibilities, to the movement of life around you, love goes with you, not as something you have to remember or summon, but as a steady presence already woven into who you are becoming. You may not feel dramatically changed, and that is okay. Some of the most meaningful shifts happen slowly, quietly, integrating themselves into your thoughts, your reactions, your choices over time. Love works this way because it is patient. It trusts the process unfolding within you. There will be moments ahead when you forget this sense of steadiness, when stress or fear pulls your attention outward again. Love does not withdraw in those moments. It waits, ready to meet you again when you return, without disappointment, without keeping score. You are not expected to hold onto clarity perfectly. You are allowed to move in and out of awareness, to remember and forget, to learn and relearn. Love understands that being human is not a straight line. As you continue forward, you may find that certain words or moments from this time return to you unexpectedly, offering comfort or perspective when you least expect it. These returns are gentle reminders, not obligations. They are invitations to pause, to breathe, to reconnect with the sense of care that has been present all along. You are not alone in the spaces between certainty and doubt, between hope and fatigue. Love remains faithful through all of it, unchanged by your mood or your pace. It does not require you to be strong or calm or resolved. It meets you where you are, exactly as you are. If you carry questions with you after this, let them remain open. They do not need immediate answers to be held with care. If you carry weariness, let yourself rest when you can, without guilt. Rest is not avoidance. It is restoration. If you carry hope, allow it to exist gently, without pressure to become anything more right now. Hope does not need to be loud to be real. It can live quietly within you, steady and patient. As this moment comes to a close, know that nothing you have experienced here is lost. It becomes part of you, shaping how you listen, how you respond, how you treat yourself and others in small, meaningful ways. Love continues to guide you, not by control, but by presence, offering support that adapts as you grow. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not too much or not enough. You are simply human, learning how to live with greater honesty and gentleness. And love walks with you in that learning, now and always steady and compassionate, holding you as you take your next breath, and the next, and the next, moving forward not with urgency, but with trust into whatever comes next.